Do you know what this is? What is it?
It's kizomba.
So what do we do with kizomba?
You want to dance?
Well, can you show me a move real quick?
Yeah, well, you dance like this. You have to be, yeah, that's it, side to side.
I looked up the video before I came. Is there a spin?
Well,
you spin
just
me.
Go.
No, there isn't. Okay.
But that's okay.
All right.
But you can go clockwise and do the same step, so that way it looks like we're moving.
Okay.
That's it.
Not bad. I feel like I'm an expert.
You're an expert.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Yay! All right.
I was not expecting that one.
Well, I wanted to have you on the podcast because, well, I am building a business, and you have had a breadth of experience across businesses. And right now, when we talked last, you were leading marketing at an organization, but you play the role of operations and all these things. And then, also you speak 4 languages.
Yeah.
And you've been around the world and you do all these different things. You have all this experience that I feel like we can just soak up and you can help me.
I hope I can.
Because if anybody isn't familiar with, I think you and I talked about the book Traction.
Yeah.
And sort of the EOS operating system and how there's sort of this, with any business, there's like a visionary, and then there is the other role, which is the integrator. And that's kind of like sometimes that can be the COO role, right? But how do you turn the wackiness into something that's professional, but not just that grows, but scales?
Yeah. Take the vision. I call it taking the vision of, well, let's say the founder, right? Because we're really talking, my experience I come from big corporate, but the last 10 years, I've been working with founders and startups, early stage. So my jam is helping to take the vision of the founder and then execute it, right?
Yeah.
It's a different muscle.
Definitely.
I don't consider myself a big visionary, so that's why I work with brilliant people like you and try to take the idea and...
You were gesturing to somebody who was brilliant. I was just trying to see if I could... I don't think there's anybody back there.
I thought I saw someone back there, but yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah. Come on, you've done pretty well, I think. So yeah, sort of like those are 2 different muscles, and it's exciting. So the last, 5 years, I've kind of started to get more into that strategic operations, business operations space.
Yeah.
And the fact that I've had roles in that area as well. I've also been in sales, right? So, right. And then I spike in marketing, because I've been in marketing for many, many years. And so I actually think that understanding go-to-market actually helps in operational roles and partnering with the CEO.
Yeah.
So I consider myself a generalist.
Yeah.
At this point. I've been in enough roles across businesses to understand. I know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know everything about everything, but enough to understand how difficult the job of each department, each function is to be able to enable the teams to be successful. That's how I see it. And I'm much more passionate at this point in my career about doing that and enabling people within an organization to be their best individually and as a group to meet the goals and the vision of the CEO, the founder, than anything else. So it's a nice transition for me.
Yeah. Well, and I think that to be able to do that, though, like you said, you're a generalist, but it's something I hadn't thought about before I met you, but you have to be able to speak the language of all of these different departments and people. And
yeah, I like that. That's well said. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, and if you've done those things, you can empathize with them. You can be more effective, and then you also can actually know what you're talking about. Whereas I feel like somebody like me, it's not my first rodeo with business. You can have a million ideas, but if you don't know how to operationalize it, execute, it doesn't even matter.
When a small company is at the cusp where they need to scale further, the biggest challenge that I've seen is how do you stop the over-reliance on the founder?
Right.
Because they were always the jack of all trades, right? You started yourself and probably had to hire 2 people, and now you have more people.
Yeah.
But when you get to a certain stage, and I'm going to say from personal experience, you get to about 50 people and you've hired enough smart people, enough senior people, and then how do you start to transition a lot of the work and trust those senior people to take on areas that maybe aren't your strength areas or aren't your passion areas. But I think what happens is it's a very hard mindset shift to make for the founder, because you created this thing, it's your baby, and now you have to hand it over to someone else.
Yeah.
Releasing that ownership is hard, but it's also hard for the rest of the company, and that's what's interesting. I've noticed that is there's a habit in, I don't know if it's true here, but it's like, we need Matt for this, we need Matt for that, because we may have hired more people that can do it, but we're not used, it's not a muscle that we've practiced, and so like we automatically default to you.
Yeah.
So there's that piece as well. I think it's a little bit of, so I like the weakness and strength. So one is, I think, usually the first place to start is, I think, the founder. Again, what are your strength areas? What things are you not as strong in? Can you delegate those things to someone else? And are you like doing that with purpose?
Yeah.
Not ad hoc. So I think that's usually the first opportunity. Then it's understanding, we usually go to what's not working and want to fix that, but actually I would look to understand what's working really well.
Yeah.
And then can you double down on that?
That sounds like more fun.
Do more of what's working. Yes, exactly. And then the third piece is, and this list is not exhaustive, right? Obviously, it's just what comes to my mind. I think the third piece is, and then you go into what's frequently breaking into the company, whether it's delivery or processes, or are you assuring all the quality assurance for everything? You know what I mean? It goes out the door, and is that the right use of your time? Or can you start to delegate? Are there other people that also share that strength within the organization and can maybe start taking on some of those things, right?
I really have gotten out of doing the actual quality assurance across the work. I think that's fair to say, but it's like sales, new business, process.
Focus,
People, right? And so like process or operationalizing things, I don't think, like having an SOP, how do we run this podcast? Like, what is the process and have we practiced it? We have a lot of amazing talent that I think are doing what they know to do, but like I don't know that we've have really solid processes and so, or that I've driven those processes. I think other people in the business are good at that, but I think there's like big opportunities for our.
Well, it sounds like there's an opportunity to, again, just going through the things you listed, your quality assurance, knowing when to slow down, to speed up, celebrating the wins and things like that, right? So it's sort of like how much of that should you be doing versus perhaps handing over to someone else, and then who are the people within the organization that have those strengths that can take things over, and then same thinking applies to you don't love process, you're not that good about process, you identify the processes, and then who in the organization can take that over, right? But it's not like it's not that me saying this is not a breakthrough. I think what's breakthrough is more the intentionality behind it, that we all need to take the time to actually think about it. Another layer to this is, what are you excited about working on versus not? Because you can be really good at something and hate doing it.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then it's matching that with the existing talent, and then thinking about, do I have the right butts in seats? Am I missing a core person within the organization with additional skills that we don't currently have, right? But there's nothing, this is not brain surgery, you know what I mean? It's not, you don't need a Harvard MBA to do this, but I think we're all, running around being busy and not actually taking the time to be deliberate about these decisions.
Well, so let's like you're COO for a day. I understand I'm putting you on the spot and you can't do all this stuff in one day, and there's a million, like you need a lot of data and you need your own thinking time. But if you were to come into Fun Guy and you're like hired as the COO, right? And you know that these are the things that are foundational to running a business. It's not rocket science.
Right.
So like, where would you start with me? I list out all my strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. Okay. And so far we've got more weaknesses than strengths.
I don't believe that, but I know you have other strengths that that I know of and that we've talked about. Yeah.
So then, what's the next step in the process? Where should I go from there? Like, is it?
I would go through an exercise with you to understand all of that. Mm-hmm. I actually have a framework I use. I'm sure there's plenty of others. It's called the ability matrix. But I would want to understand all of that. Obviously, I'd do one-on-ones with everyone here. I'd want to know also what they're good at, what they're less good at, whether what you're telling me matches what their perception of you, etc. And then I'd want to understand. That's the people side, right? And then I'd want to understand more the business side. So again, it's like what's working really well that we can accelerate or do more of. What's consistently breaking. The last thing would be, going to this year, I guess, or I guess next year if it was next year. Where do you see the biggest fragility in the business? Like what's keeping you up at night? So the people process technology, I didn't invent this. I think a lot of people talk about this, but the data is, so people is that, right? Is do you have the right butts in seats? Are you hiring the right way? Are you keeping your people motivated? Are they growing? It's all those things. The processes can be processes of all kinds, can be strategic planning process so that you can have focus. That's a broad description. But for me, it always starts with the people. So in this case, it's going back to you.
Yeah.
You're the owner. We start with you, but then everybody else as well. Because without people, you don't have a business. And that's the part, the people process I'm extremely passionate about.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the right people, nothing happens. And then if you don't have the right processes, then you don't have focus and you don't have the right execution and strategy goes out. Who cares about strategy if you're not executing?
We have a leadership team. It's this year. We started it, or this past year for the first time. We're learning how to work together and go through decisions. And I think that's one of the ahas for me is realizing that like just because it's a problem doesn't mean it should be fixed now.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Because there's a million problems, especially if you're looking. You'll find them, and that's good. It's good. But I think a business coach kind of said like one of the jobs of the CEO, founder, whatever that lead role is, they have to sort of often make the call of, are we going to solve this today? Or are we going to solve this tomorrow? And if you can do that as a team and get consensus first, that's even more powerful. But
and I want to give a shout out to John Everts was a former CEO I worked with for many, many years. And that's, by the way, that's how he did it. So, I want to give credit where credit's due. I don't know if he got it from someone else or he invented it. And there's, I'm sure, different ways of doing this. And it sounds very simplistic, but I've seen it work really well.
Yeah, no, I love that. We got to try that. So, okay, help us take the next step. Help me take the next step. We've got this list. Maybe we have to have more on the list. But, our goal, we want to diversify our clients. What can we do to continue down the path and bringing a little bit of more COO mindset here?
Well, we talked about diversifying your clients, right? But I think to me this relates to, and we talked positioning, which we also talked about, and really understanding, I'm going to throw marketing acronyms here, your ICP, your ideal customer profile. I hate marketing acronyms, but
ICP, of course, is the famous band, the Insane Clown Posse, which...
Did you just make that up, or are they real? Sorry.
That's a real.
No way.
That's a legitimate rap group.
So, diversifying your sources of revenue and your client base, I would look at understanding your being honest about your ideal customers right now. I don't know how many customers you have, but the most delighted ones, truly, that have been with you the longest from the beginning. And why did they come to you and why are they still here?
Yep.
What do they have in common? That's one way to do it, right? Because what you're looking is volume. I mean, you need more customers, so you're not over-relying on a few, right?
Because I think the way we say it is like, okay, we have these customers that are delighted, and if we had one more of those, it'd be amazing.
So it's understanding the characteristics, and also is there a common use case across all of them?
In terms of the problems we're solving?
The problems you're solving. Because I know in your case, you're heavy, I think, on manufacturing clients.
Yeah, definitely.
And so the question in my head is, and I think we talked about this a little bit, right? Before, should you be known as, do you want to focus more on manufacturing or should you be more industry agnostic? Yeah. That's always again, it's verticalization versus agnostic. Both work.
Yeah.
But you got to know. But you have to think about it, right? Yeah. As a founder, what do you want the company to be known for? But you have to marry this with, your success so far and really where have you been successful? It's not just Matt wants to do this.
You asked about then the passion side and the post that you saw I just get way more excited about solving problems that are like useful as I see it versus selling sugar water. I like helping a building materials manufacturer figure out how to like put all that nuance on their message because it's for an engineer, which is not just like let's make a commercial about with polar bears on it.
Yeah.
I like doing the creative stuff, but mixed with an actual
I think that's very, very important.
a problem.
You articulated that really, really well. So
I blacked
clearly,
out.
like you're very passionate about this. So that you have to take that very seriously.
So there's something there, and I think you kind of listed the things, like okay, where's the passion? What is the sort of common problem set that you're solving? Where are the similarities so you can go find another person?
Some of the best advice I got from a board advisor a long time ago was the thing with positioning is you put it out there. If it doesn't work, you change it. It's sort of like don't put it out there and see what the market will tell you. That's what I mean. And you can test different. You can do A/B testing, right? So you can try the more
There's so many
industry agnostic thing or the more specialty thing and see what happens.
I would love it if maybe each one of us from within Fungi came up with our own marketing positioning and just we all presented them together and just to see what happens and see what people would say. Like there's one that I had in my mind once upon a time. I was like, should we just like back way off of all the complicated speak and just say, we make cool videos for the internet.
Hey, there's something about simplicity. There's a lot of fluff. I was looking at something today. I was having a conversation with someone today. Oh, actually, you know what? Honestly, it was our own, like we're coming up with a boilerplate company description and you know, it sounded sexy and elevated, but it actually didn't really, like if I read this, I wouldn't know.
Well, what if you put that word in front of that word and say something that nobody's ever even said once before and doesn't even make any sense?
Yeah, like tweaking the poetry. So you could hire someone to come run a positioning workshop for you or something.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We know some things and there's plenty of other things we don't know and you try it out and then that's how you learn.
Yeah. But is there anything, given where we're at in that stage, is there anything that we should think about, consider, look at based off of, I know you're not looking at our pipeline and looking at under the hood.
I don't know, it feels like you're really tackling all the right areas.
Cool.
Like, because we talked about positioning, we talked about prospecting a new business, we talked about the people thing is the one I feel like you're really like thinking about positioning, you're really thinking about new business. I don't have quite the sense that you're thinking about the people side of things and, you know, again, strengths, weaknesses, butts in seats, all that stuff as deeply, and I could be wrong. But I was going to say something.
People.
I don't know. I would look at where is, you know, what's working very well and can you double down on that?
I would love to just be, if we could get it to where we are doing the right prospecting and I'm in the right room with the right people. Yeah. That's our trick right now, is getting in the right room or identifying the right person to talk to. I think unless you really connect a lot of dots together, and we're trying to do that too, because we have this sort of process where we can do your messaging and bring it through content and then distribute it. And so that's something that's unique. But tying it to some more targeted client base, I think, is really important because, you just shrink the pool, you shrink the pond, so you know who you're looking for.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're already rolling on a lot of these things, but the other thing I'd say is don't do too many things at the same time.
Yeah, totally. Got to prioritize. I do have one more question for you. I think I might have asked this last time. I don't know if I did.
This is going to be like a weird one. I can tell. It's coming.
Why would you think that?
The last one is always weird.
Yeah, it is.
I'm bracing myself.
What is one word or phrase that we should stop using in the workplace?
Oh my God, that's a tough question. Oh.
The hard-hitting questions here on the Go Fungal podcast.
Say it one more time. The one word.
What's a word or a phrase that we should no longer, it's overused, we should no longer say it in the workplace?
Can I say two words?
It pisses you off. Yeah.
Does it have to be one word?
No, it could be a phrase. It could be a word phrase, multiple words.
I really, really, really want us to stop talking about brand versus demand. God, it pisses me off. It's the same thing.
Brand versus demand?
Yeah, it's not like, it's the same thing. We're out there creating demand, building awareness and trust,
Yeah.
so that then we can capture the demand so people actually want to talk to us and give us their business. So I don't know why we always like going like this.
Is somebody out there saying it's two different things?
Generally, that's the narrative.
demand
Unless I'm
generation?
not understanding, but that's always been the narrative. It's brand versus demand, and then it's like brand budget versus demand budget, and demand is like implication is it's digital marketing and everything you can measure.
So like generating leads.
You can measure brand, and that's the first thing that gets cut. It's like no, it's the same thing. You can't do one without the other. Like, it's
Yeah.
two sides of the same coin. Brand is to me is not what we do. Brand is the impression that we leave to our buyers. Like that's the emotion that you walk away with. It's not what we do as a business or marketing. What we do is we're out creating demand so that we can capture when they're ready to talk to us. Sorry,
Yeah.
actually that really pisses me off.
Totally. I can see
Probably
it.
didn't answer your question.
No, I love that because I think that is, you see that conversation happening. Like, I think I saw like a Gary V video, and he was sort of kind of going back and forth with like a digital marketer person.
And by the way, it's the right conversation. I don't have a problem with, the concept is right. Like we're saying the same thing, meaning you got to be out there and you have to build awareness and trust, right? Versus just like generating leads. That's all. So it's the right conversation. It's just the language, like brand has become essentially like the F word. Like you say brand.
They're like,
board
oh,
meeting and
that's the fuzzy
everybody
arts,
freaks out.
artsy stuff.
It's like
you
the
can't
arts and
measure
crafts.
that.
It's the arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
just don't say it.
But I think we're starting to say it more again because we're finding out though that like,
But it's important.
well, and especially now with all of the mass marketing AI stuff that's happening, like, well, okay, how do you show up? And especially if you probably are struggling to measure the demand, like you said, right? Because some of the digital marketing activities are not so easy to measure when everything's being done in ChatGPT. I mean, people are figuring that out, but.
Yeah. So I guess I would replace brand with demand creation, is what I would say.
Demand creation? Okay.
I don't know. That's my opinion is not, doesn't make it universal, so there you go.
But if.
It's just my opinion.
But it's it's an argument that's happening right now. More and more. It's interesting.
So it's because demand is what businesses understand, CEOs understand, private equity understands.
The numbers.
The board advisors, it's the, that's the language they understand.
Well, we hope that brand is going to stay important because we're helping build brands. That's what we do. Isabelle, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. You guys are always so much fun.
El fango.